You're listening to The Morning Uplift, the podcast that brings you motivation and encouragement to begin your week. I'm your host, Liz Colburn. Grab your coffee, begin getting ready for your day, and join me as we discuss what it means to find the beauty in your journey. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Uplift. I'm so excited to bring you another episode. I know I've been away for a while, but I'm even more excited to give you some new news this morning. I am a part of a brand new network that came out. It's called Public House Media. And now I get to expand my listenership. I get to expand to many more people. I get to be in a community with some great people who I'm so humbled to work with in this network. And I'm just so glad to be in a position now where it's been a break and we have had a little time away, and now we're able to bring you a polished product of something that I'm very, very excited about, something that's been in the works for a while. And like I said, it's a whole network of people who are able to share their voice on one platform. So The Morning Uplift is just one of many shows that's offered on Public House Media, and I hope you check out my shows. It's going to be Motivational Mantras as its own show and The Morning Uplift as its own show. So I'll explain that more later. But then there are various other shows that you can check out on Public House Media that I'm very excited about as well. So good morning. I'm excited to grow with you this morning, and I really want to talk to you about a topic that is near and dear to my heart. And that topic is resilience. And it's really great because when I do some public speaking, I actually had the opportunity to work in a school a couple months ago. And when I went into the school, the teachers and the principals wanted me to talk on this topic of resilience. And what I want to share with you today is a little bit about what happened when I walked into that school. And then with you personally, I'm going to walk through 10 ways to build resilience. So bear with me as I explain my experience and then go into something that I wanted to share with you and help you grow with me this morning. So when I went into the school, I had a picture of myself up on the board, and I was in a classroom full of fifth grade girls. And I had them take a minute to just brainstorm their thoughts on who they saw me as and what their initial reactions were to who I am as a person. I asked them questions like, what do you think my family is like? What do you think about the money that I have? What my background is? What kind of car I drive? Or maybe what my job is? And I gave them time to judge me. And it was really funny working with fifth grade girls because they were being super sweet and nice and they didn't want to offend me. And I was like, girls, this is your opportunity. We judge people all the time by the way they look as they walk into a room. And I'm giving you permission. I had to give them permission to be honest and just give me their thoughts on who they thought that I was. And I showed a picture of myself on the board. And it was really interesting to see the reactions that they had on the picture and me standing in front of them. You know, I am a Caucasian woman walking into a predominantly African American and Hispanic population. I wore a really nice suit. I had heels on. I had my hair done, you know, just walking into to be able to be professional and speak to these girls. And automatically they assumed I came from a great family, and they assumed that I had a lot of money, and they assumed that my family was pretty put together, that I was probably daddy's little girl, and I drove a really fancy SUV, and my job was probably something like a lawyer or a professor or a doctor. And that's so far from the truth. And so today I want to talk to you just thinking about a child looking at somebody else and having these ideas. I also want to challenge you, kind of give you a gut check to how often do we do that with people? We look at them and we judge them, and we don't necessarily know the battles that they're fighting, the battles that they're facing. Maybe people do that to you as well. Maybe you have people in your life that you don't really let your guard down for. People who look at you and they think you have it all together, and you feel like you are slowly wearing away on the inside. I know for many years that was me. I'm not going to go into detail about my background today, although I think that I could save that for another episode. If you continue following the Morning Uplift, I might breadcrumb that a little for you, give you bits and pieces of my life and my journey. But today, I want to focus on the 10 ways that I've built resilience as an outlet to be able to give you a resource on how you can in your life, if you're going through a struggle, maybe you've witnessed things, maybe you've gone through things and you feel stuck. These are the 10 ways that I've focused on building resilience in my life. And these are the 10 ways that I spoke to those 5th grade girls and I poured into them and I talked to them about gaining resilience and how they can fight any battle that came into their life too. So bear with me. Resilience. The definition of resilience is the process of bouncing back from a difficult experience. And that comes from the American Psychological Association. That's their definition. So think about something that you've gone through. We've all gone through hardships. I know I have too. Resilience is bouncing back from those, not being able to not be sad. Oh my goodness. I've had a lot of opportunities to be sad in my life. I've had moments where I'm angry. Now, resilience doesn't mean you don't feel, and it's not something that you harbor these feelings and you don't deal with them, because you do. And I think that makes you stronger. If you're dealing with something and maybe you're feeling a little angry this morning, or you're feeling a little hurt or sad, or maybe even depressed, I think that's going to make you stronger. But resilience is being able to bounce back after that, after you've dealt with those emotions head on. So here are my 10 ways to build that resilience today. And I hope you take note of these. If you're somewhere, or maybe you can listen back to just this part later to make sure you have a list of these 10. And as I'm talking about them, I want you also to rank yourself. Give yourself a gut check. What are the ways that you are focusing on building that resilience? And what are ways that you can really focus on to help you in life? Okay, here they are. Number 1, make connections. I've made so many connections in my life, and I tell you that that is the number 1 reason that I have been able to be resilient. I've leaned on people. I've talked to people who are more wise than me. I've had hands outstretched to me that I've grabbed onto, because I believe that, yes, when you open up your heart to let somebody in, it has the risk of breaking your heart. But I think that a lot of heartbreaks in lifetime are also a good thing, because you have loved and you have been able to be willing to accept the help that's given to you, and making those connections, whether that is with a friend, a mentor, a teacher, somebody you respect, somebody in your church. Making connections is the key to building resilience. Number 2, control your response. When things happen, you need to be able to think with your mind. It's so easy to think with our heart and our emotions, but I'm asking you today to think with your mind. Control your response. When you act, you can never take actions back. You need to think through what's going on in your life, and when things are happening and you need to respond to them, how are you going to think with a clear mind in how to respond? Number 3, be willing to accept change. I'm going to give you a little insight onto me. Number 3 is probably the one that I struggle with the most. Change is hard for me. I'm a girl who loves routine. I'm a girl who loves when things are going the way that was according to plan. And when things change, I've had to work at my response. I've had to work to accept change. And my husband and Beckham and people who know me and are really close to me will vouch for that it's hard for me. It has been, but I work at it, because even though number 1 and number 2 might be easy for me, number 3 is something that I'm still working on every single day and getting better at every single day. Number 4, move toward your goals. There's some time in life, and I don't know when it happens, that people see their goals and they go for them, and then they fall short and they think they're not capable of success and they're not capable of reaching their goals, and then they just give up on their goals. I'm going to remind you today that your goals are important, and things that you are reaching for, things that you are going for are important, and you are worthy of those. Move toward your goals. Have your goals in front of you. I post mine on Post-it notes, and I put them in my planner, and I post them on things that are going to be areas that I see every single day. Move toward your goals. Number 5, act, don't detach. Don't have something happen to you and detach from it. You need to, like I said, go through those emotions. You need to have that critical conversation with somebody if that needs to happen. Don't detach yourself from feeling. Don't detach yourself from that conversation that needs to happen. Make sure that you act. Number 6, learn about and love yourself. With making connections, I believe that this is one of the top 2. Learning about and loving yourself is so important. I used to feel really broken. I used to look at myself in the mirror, and I was definitely a person that did not have as much self-love in the past. I would look at myself. I would think about the mistakes that I've made. I would think about how I'm just not as proportionate as I want to be. Okay, women especially are guilty of this, but men too. We look at ourselves and we think about all the things that are wrong with us. But when we can learn about ourselves and we can be real about what's actually going on in our lives, who we are as a person and what's shaped us, we can see the positivity and we can see the beauty in that. I was just having a conversation with my husband last night, actually, as we were laying down to bed. And he and I were talking about some changes that are happening in our lives and some things we're going through. And he looked at me and he said, I'm proud of you. And I go, well, that's so sweet, but why do you say that just in the middle of our conversation? And he looked at me and it meant the world to me. And I told him that. He said, we never had conversations like this when we were dating. You are a different person now. You're able to just understand yourself so much deeper. You're learning about yourself. And I love being able to hear you talk about the things you're learning. And that's crazy to me because I was the girl who kept everything in and I didn't like to let people see the real emotions. And I was a chameleon in life and I would blend into what everybody else wanted from me. And now I can be real and honest about who I am as a person and what things make me proud to be me. The things that I, not being selfish or not being egotistical, but being just okay with myself, looking in the mirror every single day and being like, this is who I am. And this is the person God's made me. And these are the people I have in my life. And I'm just so thankful. So learn about and love yourself, every single inch of yourself. Number 7, have a positive view. Now, this is probably one of my strengths and probably to a fault, but I like to see the positive in every single situation. And I truly believe building resilience means that you need to have a positive view of what might come and the reasons why the past were kind of how they happened. And number 8, maintain a calm heart. Another thing I struggle with, anxiety creeps in and being anxious about things that are happening and just wanting to know the answers and wanting to know why things have happened. I need to also remind myself to maintain a calm heart and to approach every situation that way. Number 9, take care of yourself. And when I say take care of yourself, I'm thinking not just physically, which yes, good hygiene is great, and taking care of yourself, working out, things like that to build your physical side of things is great, but also your mind. Make sure that you're listening to and filling your mind with things that are going to bring you joy, things that motivate you to be the best version of yourself, motivate you to keep going. Take care of yourself. There's only one you that will ever be in this world. You are resilient. You are building resilience, and you need to take care of you. You may be able to take care of everybody else in your life, and you may be running on empty. You remind me of myself too. But make sure you take care of yourself. You are important. And last one, number 10, maintain hope in the future and maintain hope in the Lord. And number 10, it's been a journey. It's been a journey to even think that I would have a future. The fact that I'm here today is such a miracle. And having to face things that are hard in your life, things that have shaped you is burdensome at times. But most importantly, maintain hope in the Lord. For He is your Father. He is your Daddy. He loves you. God has given His only Son to die for us. We can maintain hope in what He's done for us and the beautiful life He wants you to have, the beautiful testimony that He wants you to have in your life. So these are the 10 ways that I encourage you to build that resilience. Like I said, there are areas that are weak. There's going to be areas that are strong. I encourage you to write those down somewhere. Commit to growing in the areas that you're weak in. And I promise you that resilience will continue to build. You're going to feel so much more in control of your journey and so much more in love with the process. I believe in you. You can build this resilience, and these are the ways to do so. Thank you for joining me for my very first episode of the Morning Uplift on its new network. I've been your host, Liz Colburn. I hope you join me again this Friday for my motivational mantra series. You got that right. Remember, I am adding another show just for motivational mantras to get more voices out there. And then, of course, I'll be back with you again next Monday at 6 a.m. Central on Spreaker.com, iTunes, or Public House Media to bring you the Morning Uplift. Make sure you like the Morning Uplift on Facebook and contact me at lizcolburnbb@gmail.com for any questions or takeaways from this week. If you're interested in having your voice on Public House Media, go to Public House Media on Facebook or thephmedia.com. The network believes in all voices being heard. Thank you for spending your morning growing with me. God's blessings on an amazing, purpose-filled week. See you next time as we continue finding the beauty in your journey.